let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That means everything that takes place on earth, God desires that it reflects the will of heaven. Remember, they asked him a question, teach us how to pray. It's not like they wanted him to teach them how to pray for themselves or how to pray for things. They just ask, teach us how to pray. Let thy will. And when God opened my eyes to the concept of his will, I understood why things are working for some people and things are not working for some people the way they want it to work. And today I just want to break down some things because I feel that you are young enough to make adjustments. You are still young, so you have enough time to make adjustments. It will be deceptive to believe that you can see the fullness of God's hands upon your life when you are outside of God's will. Many times we say, well, it doesn't matter. Once I want it, I will get it. No. Last week, Wednesday, we talked about asking according to his will. And that place also, I want to bring out something from there. The question I want you to ask the person beside you is this: are you in the will of God? Please ask the person. Please stop this permissive and perfect. If we look at scriptures, you find out that the will of God is the will of God. There is nothing like permissive. Of course, I talked about the permissive when God allows you to do something. Not because that is in his will, but because that will not destroy his will for you. So God will allow you to come to Cyprus, though Cyprus may not be the place where you will end up. But God has seen that you can still get there through Cyprus. So he will allow it. I hope you know there are people that try to be in Cyprus, but they couldn't come here. As easy as it was for you to come, some people have tried many times, but couldn't make it. The same way some people can be stopped from going somewhere, and it's so easy for some other people to go there. Because everything works in line. Listen to this. Anything working in your life that is not according as it's already written in heaven, you will not see God fully in it. Do you hear what I'm saying? Even before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you and I called you. That means God knows your end from your beginning. He knows how you're going to begin. He knows how you're going to end, if there's anything like that. The concept of God's will for your life is already settled in heaven. So that prayer, let thy will be done on earth, is God simply saying, as already as it is settled in heaven, I want you to now bring down that will. Can I say something to you? Every day you wake up, there's a will of God for you for that day. But the question is, how many are really living in the will of God? That's the question. How many are really living in the will of God? I went somewhere during the outreach, and after I finished, they took me back. As I was going back to my hotel room, I said, God, why are things working out for me like this? Because I started experiencing open doors. I said, Lord, why are things working out for me like this? He said, because you are in my will. He said, because you are in my will. He said, for when you find yourself in my will, I will do everything to protect you in the will. The reason so many people are struggling, they are not in the will of God. Now, let me rephrase that statement. They are living outside of the will of God for them. Thank God you are still undergraduate, so you can make changes. Now, if I live here now and I say I'm going to Magosa, which way am I supposed to take? There are two ways. Either this way, or I'll take this way and turn the other way. But there's only one way, one direction to Magosa, right? Which direction? This way, yeah? Right? Am I right? This way. Now, if I take off towards Lefke and I'm driving on a full speed, do you know that every minute I drive, I'm further away from the wheel, from the direction? I don't know if I'm talking to somebody here. If you don't make changes quickly, you go too far. Many are far. And they're wondering, why am I in this kind of wilderness? No direction. I can't hear God's voice. Nothing is happening because you are too far. Now, many times we say to ourselves, well, God knows how to connect me. If God says you're going to be in Magosa, there are two ways. Either there's an Appian way, shortcuts that God can what? Maybe he decided, okay, let me take this road. I've missed the road, but if I take this road, I can still come out on the road to. Or what do? You have to. These two options are waiting for some people here. One, probably you have to turn back. Two, probably God is going to give you a way that will bring you to his will. Look at what God said to the children of Israel when he took them out of Egypt. We studied that place very well. And the Bible said, and God wanted to take them to the land of Philistines. And he said, lest they see war and change their mind, he took them through the Red Sea. But where were they going to? The promise. So the wilderness route, we'll call it the permissive, but still it will get them to the promise. But that wasn't God's perfect way for them to get there. And we all know what happened. They couldn't make it. When you start giving up, check on which way you are in. This is just the foundation. Everyone here, please, as your pastor, I want to ask you to do something tonight. Ask this sincere question. Am I in God's perfect will? Am I in God's will? What I am involved in, where I'm headed to, am I in God's will? When I talk about your God's will, I don't mean academics. Those ones you have choice. You know, your parents say you must be engineer. That's why you are in engineering. Your parents say you must carry lab coat. I love one of my daughters or my son to have lab coat. That is for your parents. They have their own will for you. Discover God's will for you. If you go to 1 John chapter 5, if you go to 1 John chapter 5 and verse 14, where we touched last week, he said, and this is the confidence that we have in him. This is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he heareth us. This is the confidence. Are you confident? One way you know that you are in God's will, confidence. This is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he heareth us. Verse 15. And we know that he hears us. Whatsoever we ask, we know that we have the petition that we desired of him. Listen to this. If it is in God's will for you, that means you have it already. Okay, let's break down the word will. What is a will? How many of you've had one of your dad or somebody pass? I shouldn't use that as example, but that will help you to understand what a will is. When someone's, you have dad, or your dad will have a will. A will simply means how, what? He wants his properties to be distributed, right? You can ask your dad, even if your dad is alive, or they already, especially if they are of age, they have a will. They don't tell you. Nobody knows until that day. Suddenly a lawyer will show up. Say, this is the will. What is the will of who? Is it your will? I don't know if I'm talking to somebody. That will is not your will. You didn't even put any input. No input. So they read the will. The lawyer will read the will. House B in Ngo belongs to my first son, Okechukwu. The land in this place belongs to my third son. And then at the end of the day, maybe they skipped one son. There's a problem. But do you know that the man is dead, but his will stands sure? In short, what made that will to come into effect is because he has died. So it is the death. Listen to this. It is the death of the man that brought the will into manifestation. That means immediately the man died, automatically the sons has got properties. Whether they know it or not. And sometimes the will come with conditions. If my son is up to this age, give it. When he marries, then he can have this. When he doesn't, no way. Ofogeli means, prodigal son doesn't concentrate wastes things. Don't give him. Condition. So when we say God's will, we think God's will is, okay, God willed. No, there is something God has reserved for you. I don't know if I'm talking to somebody here. There is something God has kept for you. Outside of God's will, you have no inheritance. We need to understand this concept. Outside of God's will, you have no other inheritance. Anything you think is an inheritance is boroboro. One day it will go back to the real owner. So everyone here has got an inheritance that already is due. You know why I say it's due? Because the writer of that will has died. And it's now yours. Oh, let me show you now. Hebrews chapter 10. I don't know if that is where it is. Hebrews chapter 10. Sorry, Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 15. Hebrews 9:15. And for this cause, he is the mediator of the New Testament. Testament means will. I hope you know that. Another word for testament is will. He's a mediator of the New Testament. That means that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgression that were under the first testament, they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance. Verse 16. For when a testament is, there must also of a necessity be the what? The death of the testator. It's simply saying, whenever a will is written or a testament is written, before that will can come into effect, that means before the people, the properties, the inheritance, has been given to, before they can access it, the person that wrote that will must die first. So that's what the scripture is saying here. Verse 17. For a testament is of force after men are dead. Otherwise, it is of no strength at all while the testator liveth. Let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. When Christ walked on earth, he came with the will of the Father. The day he hung on the cross and he died, he released the inheritance, his will, for you and for me. So that will, I want to establish one fact, that God's will has already been given to you. The question is, are you walking in that will? You have no other inheritance outside of God's will. Now, go back to where we started. I think 1 John 5:40. And this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to the will, according to the inheritance that he has delivered already to us. I hope you are getting that now. And this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he heareth us. Why wouldn't he hear? He said to you, you have that car. And you're saying, oh, I received my car. Already it's yours. So your asking will not lead you to frustration, because it's already in your will. In short, your asking is even irrelevant. Because by the reason of the death of the testator or the person that wrote the will has already been forced on you. Why do I say so? Watch the next verse. And if we know that he hears us, whatsoever we ask, we know that we have the petition that we desire of him. He's simply saying here, if you know that he hears you because you are asking according to what he has already given to you, then you are sure that you have already what you are asking. So we don't ask to receive, we ask because we've received. But the question is, are you in God's will? For example, I went to a place to minister. And that whole day before the ministration, I didn't really minister. I didn't really pray. I was so tired, so I was sleeping all through the day. And they just called me. Say, it's time. So I woke up. I said, hey, I didn't ginger myself. You know, that's what I call ginger. I didn't ginger myself in the place of prayer. But I dressed up. I went there. As I sat there with the pastor said to me, please, sir, you will do miracles today. I want my church members to see miracles. And I used style. I said, I will do what God said I should do. In that way, I was trying to safeguard myself. So if I say, be healed and nothing happens, I say, see, God, no one move. I will just cover myself up. Because I didn't pray. I didn't get that conviction that, there's a way you pray. I don't pray to do miracles, but I love it when I know I prayed. It gives me that confidence. So I mounted the pulpit. The first word that came out of my mouth was a word of knowledge. There is somebody here, you have this problem and this problem and this problem. As the woman was coming out, I said, Child, God, what's going to happen today? He said, whatever you do here is according to my will. It's already done. That was the assurance. Just knowing that meeting was in God's will. That was it. I knew all the healings are going to happen. I knew that we're going to see the hand of God in that meeting because of the assurance of his will. The question is, are you assured of the will? How many of you can say I'm in the will of God? You being in Cyprus is the will of God. Everything you are involved with, everything about your life, you are in the will. Huh? Hey. Please, can I ask the question again? Can I repeat the question again? This is strange. Can I repeat the question again? How many of you are sure you are in God's will for your life? Lift up your hands. Don't do like this. You're not doing like this. I don't know what they always do like this. You're not doing like this. Lift. I say lift. You are sure you are walking in the will of God. Lift up your hands. The rest, what happened? You are not sure. I don't know how I'm going to drive this point home. Please, if you don't know if go back to 14. And this is the. That means if you don't know the will, you are not in confidence. He said, this is the confidence. That means the only people that truly have got that confidence are people who know that they are in the will of God. How then do you have confidence? And this is the confidence that we have in Him. That if we ask anything according to His will, He heareth us. This is the confidence. So that means every time you say, Lord, I know you will bless me in this nation, somehow your heart is saying to you, you are not in the will of God. You see, the reality, if somebody will say, who is in the will of God, I will even roll on the floor. I am so much in the will of God. My joy, every time I travel, and as I enter Turkey like this, if you enter Turkey, you know you've entered another place. As I enter like this, I say, okay. Oh. But something gives me that confidence. You are in the will of God. Being in Cyprus at this time is the will of God. So the confidence is there. The question is, how? Not even more than, all. So, if you don't know the will of God, why do you then ask? Can you see the question? And this is the confidence that we have in Him. That if we ask anything according to His will, that means the person asking must know His will. To be able to ask according. That means all you're asking is just. So let's pray. This week is prayer week. Begin to ask God for what you know that belongs to you. And then you begin to see people, I claim this in the name of Jesus. I claim this in the name of Jesus. I claim this. The question is that thing in the will of God for you? You don't know. You don't know the will. So how then are you asking? And then people are wondering, why is it that I keep praying and praying and praying and praying and then no results? Because you don't even know if what you are asking is in line with the will of God for you. Then the confidence is not there. When I stand and I say, Lord, let people be healed in this meeting. Lord, provide the finances to reach to people. I have confidence in asking that. Because I know that is according to His will. He wants me to have it. Oh Lord. Now I would use this style now to correct some things. For example, if you go to embassy to apply for visa, it's not every time they will give you. Accept the fact. No matter the prayer you receive, it's not every time. Why? Because you're going so you go there. Where are you going to? Going for conference. Even before they will finish, so you have no strong proof that you are coming back. They reject you immediately. And you're like, my goodness, why God hates me? Why? And then they start writing me, Papa, what is going on? It's very simple. It's not in the will of God for you for now. Tomorrow maybe, but now it's not. And be confident. I remember a sister years ago went to UK embassy. They refused her visa. She cried, prayed. We joined hands together. and we prayed. She went to UK. They gave her the visa. I said, this visa God gave to you just to show you that He loves you. But it's not according to His will. So if you go, don't tamam. She went and tamam. 2 years. You hear what I said? 2 years. After 2 years, she said, I'm coming back to Cyprus. I said, to come and do what? She said, because I believe this happened years ago, like 2010. 2012, she came back. She said that while she left UK, the woman at this thing gave her 10 years suspension. You are not permitted to come back to, you know how UK does now? You're not permitted to come back to this place till after 10 years. He said, Papa, he said, Pastor, they gave me 10 years old. I said, when we agreed in 2010, I told you that's not the will of God for you to go to UK. That's the reason God saw your heart. He knew you were going to tamam. That's one thing people don't understand. God sees your heart. He deals with you according. You may be saying, that's why I say, he that thinketh he stand. That means in your own heart you think, I will go and come back. Wait till they happen. Nothing they happen. But God knows your heart. She said, but I'll go and apply again. I said, that one, not faith. She went back. They said, our system says you can't go back to UK. She stayed here 2006, did masters. Till 2016. No, 2015. One day I saw her. And I said to her, God wants you to go back to UK. This is actually the time you are supposed to go. He said, but they gave me 10 years. I said, go. God said you should go. Went there. Filled the form, and they asked, have you ever been refused? She said, no. When I saw the form, I said, no, say yes. You've been refused. Tell them they gave you 10 years. Don't lie. Say everything. She wrote everything. Went to interview. Then they still do interview at, She went there. The woman read it, looked at her, said, I've never seen a Nigerian this sincere. He said, normally every Nigerian that will come here will try to twist the story. He said, but you even stated here they gave you 10 years. The woman told her, come back tomorrow, I will consult our lawyer to see what we can do. She came back the next day, 2 years visa. Just like that. She went to UK. The place she worked as illegal immigrant. She went back there. The woman was so happy, filed for her. She called me and said, this will of God thing, they work. I say, if it's in the will of God, you won't struggle. If it's in the will, you will not struggle. See my life now. If it's in the will, you will not. I'm not saying challenges will not come, but you will see it will be done with ease. With ease. We need to understand the place of His will in our lives. If you can understand the place, give God His. He is the one that wrote the will for you, right? He knows how to bring it to pass. Let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. No Jupiter will stop you. If the will already in heaven is saying you are there, who can stop you? Went for outreach. I put some of the videos. Went for outreach. I wore this to the outreach. I just came back. I went to school straight. That's why I stopped. You meet some Nigerians living on the streets. And once they see this, they know I'm from Africa, so they will change their intonation. But no matter how you say, I wanna. If you're Yoruba, you be Yoruba. No matter that I wanna go, I will know. I will know. When I see them like that, I say, hey, bro, you be Nigeria. Wait till they happen for here. Say, nah. How you think no, nah? I say they suffer here. Listen, the key is, are you in the will? Are you in the will? Maybe you go watch the video. You see Americans homeless. I was asking the pastor, I said, these guys, they're American. He said, of course they're American. I said, so they carry passport. He said, I said, passport? American passport? I said, Americans, they are. I said, yeah. These are people, they kill themselves to enter. And these ones, they have it and they're still jobless, homeless. He said, this thing is about the will and yokes. You know why I'm preaching this message? You can start today and go back. At least, even if you're not willing to walk in God's will, know the will. So the day the scoin, where they hold you, you decide it's over. At least you know where you are supposed to be. And some of you here, you cannot escape the call of God on your life. God has been showing you in the dream. You see yourself preaching. He said, how can I preach? I met a young man. He said, how can I preach? How can I preach? How can I join the people, all this preaching? I can't do that, sir. I'm a big businessman. I said, big businessman. Who made you big in the business? I said, wait. You will see. Know your will. Who is your advocate? Jesus. So God has a will for you. Jesus is the lawyer that is going to read the will. Just go to him. Let him tell you when you are going to get married, how it's going to happen, the kind of man you're going to get married to, so you stop wasting your time. Let him tell you the kind of lady you need in your life, where you are heading to. After school, where next? Many of you now, if I ask this question, where next after university? Nowhere. We just live day by day. Just daily. Find the will of God. I have so many other things I want to talk to you about, but of course we always have time by God's grace. Next Wednesday. So next Wednesday, remind me. Somebody write me, please. How do I discover the will? How do I discover the will? So, the young man that made some money said, Pastor, I want to buy a car. I said, that's not the will of God for you. You can't drive a car. Say, I have driver's license. Pastor, how can you say I can't drive a car? I have driver's license. I say you can't drive a car. You're telling me driver's license. Don't I know you can drive physically? I said, but it's not in the will of God. He still went ahead to buy the car. 14 days later, he had accident with it. Everything. So I had accident with it. You cannot even pick out brake lights from the car. I said, hey now. Know the will of God for you. Know the will of God. It will help you. It will help you. Amen. At least I hope you just got, even if it's small, something. I love what Sinach said. He said when he first started ministering in Pastor Chris, with Pastor Chris, she was so distracted. They would call her, come here, come this way. She said, but I knew the will of God for me. If you must make it in life, you must know the will and your place. Thank God I did not run from this nation years ago. My first US visa came in 2008. Renewed it 6 months later. They hammered me 2 years. Ha! I said, God, you are on the throne. This is surely that you want me out of here. God said no. To today, when I travel, I come back home. In the flesh. But spiritually, God will say, because the will of God